Hey guys, my name is Icarus and I'm the Australian burger champion. Today I'm gonna show it to you step by step everything I've done to get that title. And in 5 weeks I'm qualified to go to Dallas, Texas to try to win the world's food challenge in the burger category. And for today's burgers less sausage, I'm gonna use pork shoulder. The reason why I'm using pork shoulder is the amount of fat and the way that the meat behaves when we mince it. The one thing I have to say here is that this thick part of the skin, I'm gonna trim it off. I'm not gonna use it. But to add fat to it, I got this fat from the belly because I want to reach a percentage of about 30-35% fat inside my sausage. When it comes to mincing, I'm gonna do the fat first, and mainly for two reasons. First one being to separate the fat a little bit in the corner so I can mix little by little to get the right percentage of fat that I need. And second of all, that otherwise there's nothing to push the fat through. So if I leave the fat to the end, it's not gonna have anything to push it through and the fat's not gonna be minced correctly the way we want. And always cut your meat in long pieces. It's always better to mince. And I wanted to show it to you that I'm mincing the meat in the die number 10, which is a very big die. Look at the size of the chunks. And this is on purpose because I want the sausage to have a nice bite to it. I hate those sausages, they are pasty. So we want a very thick grind so we can actually taste the taste of the meat. It's a nice trick here. After we take the blade, we turn the machine on a little bit so we can take this off. And this part here we can save for something else. Our recipe is gonna have a little bit of water. It's very important for us to mix a little bit of water so the meat goes through a bit easier in the casing, in the lamb casing. Then we're gonna use salt, chili crushed chili, fennel seeds, a shot of white wine, and provolone. This is the secret ingredient. So for our provolone, for our cheese, and you can see here that someone cut it with a machete in the store. We're gonna dice it very tiny. So a trick here to work with cheese is to shake your hand at the same time as cutting the cheese. It goes through very smoothly. And then we're gonna dice it, not too big, but also not small. And the reason for that being, it's because when it's too small, it melts so much that you can't even see it. And when it's too big, it doesn't even melt. So you have a very hard bite to the cheese. And the reason why I know that is because I tried a lot of times, so I know exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm looking to this, a little dice that will melt exactly like we want it. Not too much, and also not hold its shape. So let's go to our recipe. We're gonna put a little bit of crushed chili. The recipe is gonna be down below, don't worry about it. Then a little bit of fennel seeds, a little bit of salt, a shot of white wine, dry white wine, and a little bit of water. Water is very essential to get the right consistency of our sausage. And now we're gonna mix as we were mixing bread. So we're gonna get from the edge of the bowl to the center, and we want to mix and have a nice and thick paste, but we don't want it to be too watery. So even we put water, we want it to be not dry, but also not wet. Make sure you mix all the fat as well. The fat needs to be all mixed through once so we can get our sausage right. Now, what we're doing here is that I'm trying is exactly what I need. So we always gonna try everything I do, because I can give you a recipe, but everything is gonna depend. So the kind of shoulder that you get, how fat was the shoulder, what kind of seasoning you use, which mincer you use. So even I give you the recipe down below exactly the way it's supposed to be, there's a lot of varieties and everything that can change. Even the amount of water or salt that you put is gonna change the recipe completely. So everything I do, I put in the pan like a mini burger, and we're gonna try. Most of the times, I always need to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of chili flakes, all depends, and that's why we're gonna try a mini burger at every time we make this recipe. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna try a little bit. I can taste the provolone, it's very nice. I can taste the chili. It can have a little bit more chili. It can have a little bit more water because it's a little bit dense. And then with the addition of water, I'm gonna put a little bit more salt as well. So I'm gonna go back, mix a little bit more of everything that I just said, and then I'm gonna come back here, do another little burger, try again until our sausage is perfect, so we can go and fill the sausage up. So we're gonna put the lamb casing in the nozzle of the machine, and we're gonna pull it very careful. Be careful because this is not as a pork sausage. It's a little bit more delicate because it's very small. I washed it inside and out, and I always leave it in water. It's very nice to wash inside as well, like a balloon. So you literally put it in the tap and then open the tap and let the water run through to all the length of the casing. And it's very important for us to organize that beforehand. It's a little secret now that we tap a little bit with the sharp knife, with the sharp edge of the knife, so we can make small holes in the casing, because when we push it through, a lot of air is gonna come through. So it's very nice if we just dab it a little bit to make these tiny holes. They're not gonna make a difference when we're pushing the mince through. Now the trick here now is to guide the casing with your hand. So with my thumb, I control the casing, and with the other fingers, I control how much meat I want it to go inside the sausage. So if it's too much meat, I squeeze it. If it's not enough meat, I let it go. And that's how we control the amount of meat that goes inside our sausage. And now at the end, we always leave a little bit of skin left, so we can tie a knot at the end and make our sausage perfect. Now the trick here is to roll the amount of sausage that we want, and as soon as we get to the size that we want it, we stop, take the excess of meat from it, so we can tie the knot in that end as well. And as soon as we tie the knot, we make our round sausage, and then we push the skewer through to get all in the same shape before we take it to our barbecue. the trick here is to wait a little bit to the sausage to get a little bit dry. So when the sausage is wet and if you mince and put straight away into the barbecue, the casing will explode. So the trick here is to wait a little bit until the sausage is dry and it's not sticky anymore. And then you put a little bit of olive oil in your hands and rub it into the sausage before we put it into the barbecue. And today I'm gonna be using the Pampas Flame barbecue. This little barbecue here is for my friend, and he's a barbecue master here in Australia. And this guy, it's unbelievable. Look at this. He himself designed this small barbecue, and look how cool it is. Look at this. And then it's small, compact, and you can take it anywhere. You can take it for camping, for in your small apartment, or even in your house. You don't have all that bulky and big barbecue. You can grill whatever you want, whenever you want, in this little and tiny and nice barbecue, South American barbecue. Look how perfect we're gonna have this sausage in this tiny barbecue. It's completely perfect. And then I like to always cross it. So you see the drizzle, it's like this. So we're gonna cross it and make both sides look the same. Now we got down to the best part, which is the assembling of the burger. I have here a milk bun, and I grilled the bun with a little bit of butter in the pan, so perfectly grilled and a nice crisp skin. And now we're gonna add a little bit of mustard. Today I'm gonna use Heinz mustard, but just reminding everyone that during the tournament, I can't use anything that comes in a package. So I actually done the mustard myself. I got mustard seeds, coriander seeds, smoked paprika, sweet paprika. I bleach there with water, reduce the mustard, and then once it's cold, I mix a little bit of maple syrup and a little bit of white wine vinegar. I'm gonna leave all the recipes down below, but just to make sure to you guys to try everything. It doesn't mean that you follow the recipe down, that is gonna mean that everything is gonna be perfect. So try, it's a trial and error. You do the recipe and you try a little bit more salt, you try again, a little bit more sugar. It's all a trial and error, and that's how we work in the kitchen. For today's video, I'm gonna use a ready mustard. Little bit of mustard, both sides. And then we're gonna use a little bit of crispy iceberg lettuce. It has to be crispy. If it's not crispy, it's not gonna work properly because we want that crunch and that freshness. And then the secret here is to dry your sausage a little bit, okay, because of the fat that releases, and the judges try the sausage 10-15 minutes before. So we really want to dry the sausage a little bit, and then we put it in the burger. And before we finish, we're gonna add a little bit of chimichurri, which is a South American salsa verde. So it's a little bit of, it's a bunch of dry and fresh herbs with vinegar and onion. So I'm gonna add that chimichurri to our sausage as our special sauce, reminding everyone as well that I have to make the chimichurri on spot. So I made the mustard, I made the chimichurri, and I made our bun. So look at this. Look how cool this is and how pretty this burger looks like. So now I'm gonna cut in half so we're able to try, and look at this. Look at this burger. Okay, this is a sausage burger that got me first place in the Australian World's Food Challenge, and as a result of that, I'm going to Texas. I'm going to Dallas, Texas in 5 weeks to compete into the World Food Challenge in America. Okay, now the worst part of it. Let's try. This is so good. So that's it for today. Done. We're done.